Hi, sweet friend. So I just wanted to come in here and talk to you today about solitude and being in prayer and in contact with the Lord privately and in solitude, because we always have to look at Jesus Christ as our example. And lately I have been thinking about a lot about this because um, anybody who knows me knows that I'm a very social person. I love to be out and about. I love to be with people. I'm an extrovert. I love to socialize. But as I've gotten older, I've realized how important it is to take time by yourself, take time with the Lord. And so I just spent some time really looking at Jesus as my example for spending quality time alone. He would go off and be with the Father, and I love that. He's such an amazing example to look at what Christ did. So in Luke 6:12, very early in his ministry, Jesus spent time alone in prayer. So he went off, and as he would do throughout his section of the Bible, you would notice that sometimes Jesus would just slowly just go off and be alone and quietly be talking to the Father in prayer. And so in Luke 6:12, he actually went off for a long time in prayer, and then the next day he chose the 12 disciples after that. So if you look at that, that means it's important for him to connect, to seek God, will seek the Father, in his case, seek the Father's will, because he needed guidance and he needed direction. And we can really look at this and say, okay, if Jesus is doing that when he needed the time to ask the Father, okay, what direction do I need to go in? I'm sure he sought him also for comfort and also for direction. This is our example. Also, let's see. So through grief, Matthew 14, he had learned that John the Baptist, his cousin, had passed away, and he went away by himself because this was a grieving time. And so we know that when we're in times of stress, when we're in times of grief, I personally have lost many relatives to cancer. So the grieving process was I would spend a lot of time alone in prayer and talking with the Lord to help me get over that, because only the Lord can strengthen you. And that private time is so important. We don't have to feel like we have to do this walk on our own and just depending on our own strength. We know that we can ask God and ask the Lord to help us through any time. And Jesus has been our example, because you can see throughout his time on earth, while he was doing his mission, he always stopped and took the time to pray and go off quietly. And I just love that. And so in Mark 6, Jesus sent the 12 disciples out to do ministry. So after their work, they returned, and he encouraged them to separate themselves from people, to go off and have some quiet time. So if Jesus is telling the 12 disciples, okay, you're working hard or you've been doing something, you need to go seek some quiet time, then we know that it's important for us. It's important for us to take the time to be in peace, being quiet, get away from distractions, and not to allow anything to take away from that quiet time that we need to be able to focus on the Lord. It's very important to ask God to give us the strength that we need anytime we're going through any troubles, anytime we're going through a time where we need to make a decision, or we need to say, okay, Lord, what is your will for my life? That quiet time, that solitude is so important. So as we go through the Bible and we see how Jesus put emphasis on quiet time, Jesus put emphasis on solitude, Jesus put emphasis on spending time with the Father, seeking his will, wanting to have guidance, to understand, okay, what did he need to do, and also for comfort. So I just wanted to come in here today and talk to you about solitude, spending time alone with the Lord, and getting the strength and the peace that you need by that, having that quality time and that alone time that is so important, and letting Jesus be our example. So I hope this was a blessing to you today. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you, and thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Have a blessed day.